Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with Ferran Torres, as it has been reported that Barcelona are prioritizing the departure of the misfiring attacker, and Barca want to sell him for 40 million euros. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, in this episode, talking about Sergi Roberto, as it has been reported that the Barca captain is subject of a transfer inquiry from Saudi Arabia. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. According to Mundo Deportivo, Barca are prioritizing the sale of misfiring forward Ferran Torres in the summer transfer window. The La Liga champions will happily part ways with the Spaniard if offers worth 40 million euros were to arrive. Torres joined Barca only in the winter window of last year, signing from Manchester City in a deal worth 55 million euros plus add-ons. However, Ferran Torres' stint in Catalonia has not met the expectation levels as the 23-year-old has largely misfired. A return of only 14 goals in over 70 matches does not make for good reading. As things stand, Ferran Torres finds himself behind Robert Lewandowski, Rafinha and Ousmane Dembele in the pecking order. With Vitor Roque in line to join Barcelona, Ferran Torres' game time could take a further hit, and as such, Barcelona are hoping to part ways with the Spanish international, even though some reports suggested that manager Xavi counts on him for next season. The report adds that Barcelona would hope to receive around 40 million euros for the sale of the former Manchester City and Valencia attacker. Ferran Torres, for his part, remains intent on staying put at Barca and succeeding. The Catalans had received an offer of around 60 million euros from Newcastle United for him during the winter window, but he refused to leave and his stance remained the same. However, the Blaugrana remained focused on getting Ferran Torres off the books, and the plan would be to possibly replace Torres with Yannick Carrasco. The La Liga champions secured a 16 million euro purchase option for the Atletico Madrid winger and are interested in acquiring his services, albeit not as a priority. Of course, Ferran Torres have been linked to a sale. This is not the first time we have been talking about this. This is a guy who was signed from Man City last year in the winter window with a lot of expectations, I must say. But of course, he has been a flop. With all due respect to Ferran, he has been a flop. Last season, we never saw something substantial from Ferran Torres. Xavi was given the opportunities. It's not like Xavi was not giving him the opportunities. But Ferran Torres failed to make use of those opportunities. And it doesn't come as any surprise that Ferran Torres is up for sale. Of course, we have been talking about links to Newcastle United. That was since in the January transfer window earlier this year, but Barca did not sell because the player insisted that he wouldn't leave, and his stance haven't changed. Ferran Torres was bought for a whopping 55 million, for crying out loud. 55 million, and looks now like wasted money, wasted investment. And honestly, I don't see the use of keeping Ferran, especially at a period where Barca need to sell. We need to sell. This is no news for us. In order to go into that market and bring in good quality players, sales definitely need to take place, or else they won't be registered. In fact, we can't even buy all the priorities that we want to and stuff like that. So as it stands right now, Barca are really prioritizing Ferran Torres because they know that whatever comes in from his sale will greatly help the club. Financial wise, and of course complying with the financial fair play in the league, which have been our main hurdle heading into the summer. Firstly, when Barca had their viability plan approved by La Liga, that was a giant step forward, because had it been they didn't approve that, then sorry, the summer window could have been a disaster. But now there is hope because the viability plan have been approved for the next 3 years. And now Barca can now start facilitating their move by selling players and of course arranging the salary mass for the club so that business will be good this summer. Of course, we have been linked with other wingers like Yannick Carrasco of Atletico Madrid to replace either one of Ansu Fati or Ferran Torres, depending on who will be finally sold. And of course, from all likelihood, Barcelona want to sell Ferran Torres and they are asking for 40 million. For 40 million, that is the price that if it comes, then they can sell him. But which club will be able to pay that amount? It remains to be seen. After seeing how low his performances have been, and Barca expecting something about 40 million, wow, it's quite interesting to see where he ends his career because from the look of things, manager Xavi does not prioritize keeping him because next season Xavi wants to go take Barca to the very, very end in the Champions League and of course for other competitions, and Ferran Torres is going to go way down the pecking order, especially as Vitor Roque is on his way to Barca. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, Saudi Arabian clubs have done a lot to disrupt the dynamic of the European transfer market this summer, roping in footballing stars such as Karim Benzema and N'Golo Kante. There are many more to potentially follow, including Sergio Ramos, Ruben Neves, and Hakim Ziyech. Saudi Arabian clubs are working on deals to lure these players to the Middle East, and according to Tony Juanmati, it appears they have eyed another top player in the form of Sergi Roberto. The Barcelona captain has become the latest target for Saudi Arabia as the oil-rich country continues to lure footballers across the world in their bid to enhance the footballing culture in the nation. As per Juan Mati, Roberto has received an inquiry from Saudi Arabia via an intermediary. Although nothing concrete has taken place, it appears the Middle East nation is probing the possibility of signing the Barcelona captain in the coming summer. With Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba leaving the club at the end of the month, Roberto is set to play a key role for Barcelona next season. The player has extended his contract at the club and is set to become the club's first captain in the season end. That means an attempt from Saudi is unlikely to deter the player, who can still move to the Middle East next year at the very least. But the decision could depend on Barcelona as well, knowing they could receive quite a lucrative offer for the Spaniard. Everything considered, Roberto still has 1 year remaining on his contract. That means Saudi Arabian clubs would have to offer Barcelona a sum in order to secure the services of the 31-year-old, which in turn can act as a source of revenue for the club. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.